Okay, hello. This is a long-term review after, I'd say, a year of using this drone, the GepRC Cygnet 3. It's kind of like my first car kind of thing, where this was like the first serious, like real drone that I got after I had flying like tiny stuff around my house. And then, yeah, I got this one and I've been flying it pretty much since, and pretty regularly as well. So it's pretty fast. It's under 250 grams, even with the batteries that I use, which are these 850 milliamp hour 4S. I got these ones because they're on Unmanned Tech, and they were pretty well priced, and they were, seemed like a good deal. And then I bought two of these, which are the G&B ones, because the FPV ones. It's hard to say the FPV. They were out of stock, so I got these ones, which are basically, I feel like they're the same but with a different sticker. I don't know. It's got small motors. They're 1206, I think. Yep, 1206 at 4,500. I think you can just see that there, 4,500 kV. I have had to replace one. I crashed into a tree and it burnt. I think I got stuck with it armed for too long, but they're quite cheap to replace. I think they're like £10 or something like that. And then it's got a flight stack in here and a split camera here. The flight stack is the F4 stable from Get. The camera is a Runcam Split Mini 2. And these are the buttons to control it. And then it's got an SD card mount under here, which I'll come back to in a second. But yeah, it records in 1080p, 60 FPS. It does have to be mounted real tight. It was giving me this where it'd fly along, it'd be going fine, and I'd do some kind of maneuver and it would just lose the frame from the camera would just be the last frame that was presented, and the OSD would update correctly. It would always, like, horizon would change as I was doing it, but the camera wasn't producing new frames. Eventually I realized just tighten everything up, and that I didn't realize it. I discovered that was the problem. Yeah, and then the other problem with the camera is the SD card holder. If I tip this up, seeing there, the SD card holder is that little black thing that's moving attached to the Velcro. That thing does not hold anything, and if you crash, there's a good chance that this is just gonna ping out like that, which is not good, especially if you're in a field, because good luck finding one of them in grass. I've tried it twice and it's not worked either time. But now we've got Velcro on our side, so yeah, I just Velcroed at the bottom with some like heavy duty sticky Velcro, and then a little bit more of it on top, and then just stuck an old battery strap on it. I bought a buzzer because I once lost it for a good couple of hours in a field because of long grass. And yeah, so I purchased this, which was, they're quite cheap. I think they're about $8 to $10. I can't remember. I don't know what that is in pounds. And this thing was like just too big to fit inside the frame. So then I went Googling around for like, what is the smallest and loud buzzer? And that's the Lucky Box, which is in there. That just about fits. It sits on top of this protective plate. If I put that right up there, there's a protective plate there that stops the camera getting hit by the battery strap. And it sits on top of that with a piece of 3M gum sort of stickiness. And then the buzzer just sticks at the top. You do need access to this button, because that is how you turn off the buzzer without doing some kind of bizarre plug it in, count 8 seconds and unplug it ritual. You just press that button 3 times within 3 seconds and it'll disarm. I've changed the props. I've changed out because these are very, very, I think, I'll just shift that. They're very, very aggressive for the size of the drone. Like, you can see they're so much thicker than the ones I've replaced it with. These ones are 3016s and I think these are 3040 something. These ones are like so much smoother and like more granular in their response, that like, because the hover point was like 15 to 20% with the Avan rushes, and you'd just move up a tiny bit and it would like jump high, and you had to put like loads of expo on the throttle around and put the midpoint right and like make it so that you had to get a bit of sensitivity in the middle, and then just switch into these propellers, which are a lot less aggressive, made it feel so much smoother. And then with the expo, it's even nicer around the hover point. Yeah, so that's the props. The antenna stuff, I switched quite a lot of antenna stuff out. I got a new VTX antenna because I was convinced the VTX, there was something going a bit weird there, because it was kind of bad. Then I upped the power I upped it all the way to the max because I was like, let's go to the big numbers. And that's a bad idea because it gets really, really hot actually. And it was like hot to the touch, like you wouldn't be able to touch it. So I was like, well, that can't be good. So I'll just turn it down a bit. And then it was fine for a while. And then this happened to this antenna where you can see it's not parallel. None of these things are parallel to each other. It kind of is off kilter. And the way these are constructed is there's a plane here and then two more planes here. And they're all supposed to be parallel to each other. But obviously these aren't. So the interference is... Oh, no, the reception isn't so good. So I replaced it with a stubby. But I also at the same time I bought the stubby and this thing, which is a longer one, because I figured this must be hiding behind the battery in sometimes, because if you think if I put a battery on here, like there's going to be times where this is above me and this is just all in the way. So I thought, get this and it'll be more likely to be out of the way. And then I have this as a backup if I need it. It just fits into my goggles box, nice and easy. I also experimented with this antenna, which is a Crazy Pony one. But that's makes it too back heavy and the back motors get quite warm while I'm using this one. Because it's obviously got to counteract the change in center of gravity. The other antenna related thing is these little receiver antennas. They were stuck inside of tubes like drink straws and they just pop out or snap and you lose them. So now I've sort of pushed in some zip ties and just pulled them all the way up to the stop inside the 3D print. You can see just in here there's like a 3D printed, what's that? Yeah, there's a 3D printed little hole and you just push the zip tie all the way through until it stops and then yank it a little bit and just put the receiver antenna onto it, a piece of heat shrink and just done. So the durability, I said I'd come back to that. Durability wise, I think it's pretty good. I did have a crash where I fell from quite a height. I've got video, but it doesn't involve the actual crash itself. But I kind of got completely black video, and I think the actual little connector on the antenna in here, I think that actually came off in flight because it was loose or something. Because it went to complete static, and it was like not break up, but just as if you just switched the antenna off. So, and it must have fallen like 30-40 feet onto concrete, and then yeah, the whole front end was crashed. Other than that, it's just tuning it was a bit of a long process, let's say, because it came on 3.5.7 and then it was fine, I didn't have any problem with it, and then I got better at flying and I realized I do have a problem with it. So I tried to tune it and I did, and I broke it, and then I thought, well, 4.0 seems new, we'll try that. Garbage, very bad, didn't like it. So I thought, well, I'll try 4.2 then, everyone's going on about new features in that. And it seems like 4 and 4.2 just don't seem good for 3-inch drones. It seems like they're pretty targeted towards 5 inches. And I just couldn't get anything good out of them. Even though at some point I deluded myself into thinking that 4.2 was good. I went back to 3.5 and then tuned it up, and it's so much better now than it was before. I've got a pretty tight flip and roll. It's so like it will just stop dead, like exactly when you stop. Your is a little bit loose and I can't figure out how to make it better. I try all the things and I've not really figured it out. I think it might just be that your is not the easiest thing to tune on such a small drone, because you're not going to have as much authority with small motors, and although it is light, I don't know. Yeah, so I don't know. I'll have to play about with it more, but I'm going to new locations quite a bit and I don't want to jack with the field too much, because I don't want to get to a new place and not be able to fly well just because I mess with the tune. But yeah, like I said at the beginning, it's basically my first car kind of drone, and I don't know, this feels like I just complained about the thing for the entire video, but I do have like really positive opinion of it. And it's like high quality, like it's well constructed, the carbon's really nice, it's got like little, yeah, you can see the chamfering on the edges and stuff, the carbon's good. I think Gep have got a reputation for being pretty good at carbon and stuff. Yeah, and I've really enjoyed flying it, and I've learned a lot, and I've got so much better just by, flying around and practicing a lot. And this this thing is the main drone I've flown to do it. And yeah, I've had some problems, but it's been pretty good. And I don't think there is such a thing as a drone that doesn't have problems, unless you buy like a Mavic, and that's not. And I would guess that even Mavics have problems. I don't know, but I'm just gonna guess. So I think, yeah, overall, generally, I'm pretty positive on it. Yeah, I hope it was useful, because there's a lot of things in here that are just random stuff that I've found over the time using it. And I will post underneath the video in the description, I'll post my current tune. And if anyone else has got one and thinks they've got a better tune, I'm more than happy to try it and give it a crack, because whilst I'm really happy with my pitch and roll, my yaw is what I'd definitely try anyone's like suggested yaw terms. Yeah, yaw terms. I don't know. Anyway, that's pretty much all there is, I think. Generally speaking, good. Thanks for watching.